Alright, in the last video I showed you guys how to get this panel roughly fit. Today I'm going to show you how to use basic hand tools to get this thing ready for welding. Again, my videos are just meant for the everyday backyard mechanic. If it's just doing these projects in his backyard, that's how I started. So I have a respect for guys that are still out there doing it, or guys that are just starting. If we don't help those that are just learning, the hobby dies. So what I'm going to show you is how to get this panel that we fit in the last two-part video series, I guess you could call it. It's just, I didn't want to bore you guys. I'm going to show you how to get this properly 100% fitted in the hole, how to get it evened up, and first step we're going to do is we're going to prep our edges. I just use a cheap store-bought grinder and a flat disc. Here's what they are, wore the heck out, but I keep them and I'll show you why later. I use 80 grit. These things are available in I think 60 and 120, also pretty available on the shelves at Ace Hardware. I think even some of the big box stores like O'Reilly's and stuff might have them, but don't quote me. I know for a fact Lowe's and Home Depot still carry them also. But anywhere you can get a grinder, you can get these guys. This is what I use just to prep my edges. What we're basically going to do is crank up the grinder, and we're going to go along the edge of the truck panel and this panel out of the truck. Obviously I'm going to pull this out, but we're going to just shine them up essentially. We got to get down to the bare metal. We're going to do that all the way around. Anywhere you're going to put a weld on, you're just going to make it shiny. That's going to get you a good surface to weld to, because the truck and the panel come coated. Welders don't like that stuff. You're going to end up with a nasty weld, inclusions and stuff that can just cause you trouble down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and zip on this real quick and pop the panel back in and show you what it should look like. All right, here's the panel pulled out of the truck. Took about a minute to go ahead and knock this down. If you notice, it's not perfect. I didn't knock every single bit of this coating off, and there's a reason for that. We've still got some trimming to do, but we wanted to get a clean surface so that we can use our Sharpies when we've got to clean these edges up and get them done. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the truck side. Oh, safety glasses, be safe. We're going to get the truck actually all the way clean. So inside the truck, we're going to get it much cleaner than this. We're going to get it closer to the edge, because we shouldn't have to do too much more trimming on the truck. The truck is already trimmed. But this piece is going to probably still need some doctoring up. So, but I wanted to show you guys what I meant. You don't need to clean, 6 inches of junk off. We just need to knock the edges off. All right. So let me hit the truck real quick and we'll take the next step. All right. So again, we're just going for 1/2 inch to 1 inch of nice shiny metal all the way around our repair area. You guys way up north, actually mostly out west in the desert region, if that's where you're watching from, some of these steps ain't a problem from you. When I was out in Colorado building hot rods, we could sandblast a car, and as long as it was in the shop, we could leave that thing inside for a couple months and it wouldn't even flash. Down here, I'm in the far south near the Gulf. You got about a day and it starts flashing. So I work with little chunks at a time, because again, I've got to put something on it when I go home for the night, so that the next day when I come in, it's not already starting to flash with rust. So this is how we do it in these regions, or how I do it. Again, there's no right or wrong way, as long as we get the same end result, right? So get that last little bit on the bottom all the way around, nice and shiny. It's going to give us a nice place to weld to and work from. So now we're going to take that panel we pulled out, we're going to put it in the hole, we're going to start marking where we need to get it to fit a little bit better, and I'll walk you guys through that. Just know this will be the most frustrating part of this whole repair for you guys, especially if it's your first time. Getting these panels to fit exactly where you want them, especially if you're there alone, can just be frustrating. It's going to keep moving and wobbling until you get it clamped down, and then you get it clamped down and you see you're not quite square and you move. Take your time, be patient, know that you're not the only one having a hard time with this. This isn't Hollywood. These things don't happen in 4 days, okay? Take your time, be patient. The hole's not going anywhere, the car's not going anywhere, and the panel's not going anywhere you don't tell it to go. So take your time. We're gonna cut this thing, fine tune it, and get it the rest of the way in, because remember, up until now, the only thing that has touched that panel is a pair of tin snips. So the edges are real rough. It's just close in size. So let me grab the panel, pop it down in the hole, and we'll go from there. Okay, so it didn't take me long to find something good I needed to show you guys. So I want you to note that this is actually sitting further back than this right now. So we know we've got a little bit of room that we can play with this way. How you obtain that is you do it with the opposite side of the panel over here. So I know that we've got, this is a little tight, I can trim that, that'll bring that in. We've got our pocket here for the dimmer switch that we've got to trim up. So we've got room, this will come over and close that gap. So anything that's touching here is trimmable. Again, anything that hangs out the door, we don't care about until the very end. We're still fitting the panel. So what I always do is you pick a side to start on. In this case, we're gonna start over here for 2 reasons. 1, we know we've got room over there. And 2, I can reach both sides of the panel right here, which is super important when you're using your butt weld panel clamps, because these guys, you have to be able to reach the back side of your panel so you can put that bar in, so that that can go in there and hold your panel nice and even, so you got a good weld. So I'm gonna start over here, and what you do is you clamp the panel where you need to, where you want it to sit. That does 2 things. It's gonna give you your gap for welding in that spot, wherever it is that you clamp it, and it's gonna hold it nice and even. So then you'll know, you know, up here if we've got to take a little bit of material out, or if we've got to do it over here. Again, note, this panel's further back than this one, so it's very rough fit, but we're very close also. So this is the crucial point where you don't want to take too much material off, because all the work you've done up until then can go away and become a whole nother problem if you get ahead of yourself and start rushing. Again, take your time. This is the most crucial part next to the actual welding. So let me fiddle with this, get 1 or 2 of these clamps in, and show you guys what we're looking like. Okay, you can see I've got a clamp here, a couple clamps there next to the dimmer switch pocket. But I've hit something that I want you guys to see, and that is this. No matter how good you prep in the first couple steps I showed you in those other videos, you'll run into stuff like this. So once you get this panel in, it's still a tight fit, so it's kind of bunched up in there. The panel itself hasn't relaxed, and some of that is this cut isn't perfectly in the right spot, and it's hanging over here but flush here, and same kind of deal over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a Sharpie on a nice clean surface, and I'm going to make a few marks saying that where I need to trim to get this to sit nice and relaxed, because I don't want it to move when I get to clamping over there. So I'm going to do all my work on this side. This has got all the weird cuts in it and all the weird stuff happening. That's just a straight side. So I'm going to work from this side to make that side fit. Hopefully that makes sense. 2 reasons. Over here, I've got overhang to work with, which we'll cut off later. And that side's constant. But number 2, I can't reach back there to get a clamp in. So I need that side to fit as good as possible, so that when I go to clamp it, I'm not fighting the panel, the truck, reaching. It's just easier if that side fits very, very well to begin with, because then all my clamp's going to do is hold those 2 panels even. So I'm going to make a few marks, pop this out. I'm going to trim, you know, right here, around here, get this panel to relax in position, put the clamps back, and then we'll move forward with clamping. So you guys, if you're frustrated right now and you're following along and working on your own project, hang in there. I know it's frustrating. This is probably the worst part of the job next to the actual heat and act of welding, but we'll get to it. Hang in there. We'll get this done together. I guess I should take a quick sec to show you guys these. These are just basic little panel clamps These ones I got about 15 years ago at a Harbor Freight because I needed something quick. And I got to tell you, I keep replacing them when I lose them or I mess them up with weld or whatever I do to them that causes me to not use them anymore. They're great because they're inexpensive. You toss them in your toolbox, they're there when you need it, and they're good for butt welding. And they're available when you need them. You can probably get other versions of these off Amazon. Eastwood has some more expensive versions, but I'll be honest, for the money, these do fine. For the everyday hobbyist, these are fine. They're just going to hold your panel in place, and then you're going to take them out and you're going to throw them in the toolbox until you're doing another project. So don't spend $1 million on it. Just get something that works. These projects stall out because of money, time, and frustration. So do yourself a favor, save you some money and some time, which makes the job less frustrating. So I'm going to yank this panel out, make those cuts like I was saying, and then we'll get back after it. All right, so trimmed, nice fit, nice and even in the clamps, and we've got our beautiful gap for welding. So I really just wanted to show you guys how we get there and the basics. The biggest thing to do is take your time, have some patience. This panel is going to come out of this truck 5 or 6 more times by the time it's fitted all the way around and it's actually ready for welding. So because I'm trying to keep it very general and very basic so it pertains to everybody, you guys all probably aren't working on a 66 F100. So the little nuances that apply specifically to this truck, I'm probably not going to go over in this video. And actually, I'm about to sign off here so that I can get this fitted the rest of the way, because the next video I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks for welding these panels in without warping, without messing up, and without hurting yourself in the future. We do have to dress both sides of these panels. What I mean by dress is knock down the welds, take care of pinholes, and then get the bottom side ready for undercoating. I still have a cab mount to do under here, and we've got 2 cab mounts to do up front, all of which we'll get shorter videos on. And those are thicker metal and have a different process for putting them in, so I do want to show you guys that. But that's going to do it for this video. I wanted you guys to get the basics of how to fit it and how to scoot it. If you have any questions, give me a holler. Let me know what you think. Give the video a like. If you found this channel and you're following along, I've got 2 videos before this one on how to fit that in. Give it a subscribe. Follow along as we build this truck and several others. We've got a lot to cover and nothing but time to do it. So thank you guys for watching. Follow along on several projects we got cooking, and I'll see you guys on the next one.